Even superheroes need a vacation. On a perfect Maldivian beach, Spider-Man, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and Venom trade the city for sun, sand, and cold coconut drinks. Watch as Spider-Man builds sandcastles with web. Catwoman steals every shiny shell she sees. Harley turns a beach ball into a prank, and Venom argues with sunscreen like it's a snack. Stick around for laughs, unexpected friendships, and stunning ocean views that make you want to book a flight. You'll see these icons in a whole new, silly light. Webs, waves, and coconut catastrophes. The Maldives is a group of low coral islands with clear turquoise water, white sand, and coconut palms that lean toward the sea. Coral reefs sit like natural walls around many lagoons, so waves are often gentle near shore and water stays calm and warm. Coconuts grow high above the sand on tall, slender palms, and they fall sometimes when the wind blows or when a branch snaps. Spider-Man used that calm shore to his advantage, spinning a wide hammock between two palms with neat, sticky web lines. He tied the web to the trunk, not to the fronds, because fronds can break. The hammock rocked in a slow rhythm like a metronome. He also made a tiny net to catch falling shells and small fruit, which kept the beach blanket tidy. Short nap. Then he sprang up to patch a torn beach umbrella with a quick web stitch. Catwoman found the palms easy to climb and moved like a soft shadow up the trunks to pluck coconuts that were just out of reach. She used a small hook on her belt and a practiced twist of leg and arm to tip a ripe coconut down into a towel without bruising the fruit. Her movements were quiet and exact. One example. She climbed without leaving a mark on the bark and handed down 2 perfect coconuts, still warm from the sun. Harley Quinn made the drinks, in her own loud way. She smashed a few coconuts with a toy mallet painted red and black, which sent a spray of juice over her hat. It was messy and funny. Once, she swung too hard and knocked a coconut into a cooler, where it rolled and bumped a bottle of sunscreen into the sand. Everyone laughed. Then she tried tossing a coconut to Venom like a ball, which should have been harmless. Venom, who looks big and scary, was careful with the coconuts but curious about the taste of coconut water. He sniffed first. Then he accidentally squeezed one between huge fingers and the shell cracked with a loud snap, splashing juice onto his black chest. The sticky juice made him hiccup. Waves lapped closer because a sneaky little swell had come in. One wave soaked Spider-Man's web hammock and loosened a line. Short pause. Things became slapstick. Catwoman darted, Harley squealed, and Venom grinned with a mouth full of coconut, which somehow made him less frightening. Small details made the scene real. Sand that stuck to sunscreen, little crabs weaving through footprints, a jellyfish floating well away in deeper water. For example, when a stray coconut rolled toward the tide, Spider-Man flung a web to stop it, and the coconut swung back like a pendulum, bonking Harley lightly on the knee. Everyone groaned and then laughed. The mood stayed light, like a beach comedy with sun and mild chaos. At the end of the day, they built a neat pile of empty shells and used a big leaf as a serving bowl. Catwoman arranged the shells like little bowls. Spider-Man tied a string of small shells as a garland and hung it from the palm. Simple fun. Venom, still sticky, cleaned his hands by splashing in the shallow water, which made a small wet ring around the group. Coconut catastrophe turned into shared jokes, and the waves kept time like a friend tapping a spoon on a glass. Catwoman's sunbathing heist. Selena moves like she has done this 1,000 times. Quiet steps, quick hands, eyes that miss nothing. She knows how to read a room and a beach, the way a towel folds, the way a lifeguard blinks when a coconut falls. On the sand, she blends in with a wide hat and dark sunglasses while her mind runs a checklist of exits, cameras, and the nearest service door. She brings ordinary things that are not ordinary at all. A tube of sunscreen hides a slim set of pics. The metal straw in her drink is really a tiny hook. A mesh tote looks like a tote, but inside it sits a rolled-up grappling strap that doubles as a beach mat. For example, she leaves her umbrella slightly tilted to shade a security camera, then uses the umbrella pole to nudge the camera to a blind spot while pretending to tie her sandals. The move is quick. It makes people look the other way. A laugh, a stretch, a casual chat with the bar staff are all part of the act. Nearby, A glass case with a glittering necklace sits under a label called Local Treasure, and a bored attendant who keeps wiping the counter. Selena waits for the sun to climb just right, then slides one hand under the towel, palms up, and palms the necklace as if pulling out a piece of sand. No drama. A seagull squawks at the same moment to cover the tiny clink of metal. It is elegant. It is absurd. After the lift, she lays back and rubs on more sunscreen with the free hand, tipping her hat to hide a satisfied grin. She tucks the necklace into a hidden pocket inside her sarong and orders another coconut, asking for extra lime with a wink. Later, she might return it with a note and a chocolate coin, or she might keep it as a souvenir from a day when work and play wore the same swimsuit. Either way, she sunbathes. The sand sticks to her heels, the waves hum, and the whole thing becomes a story she can tell with a smirk. Harley Quinn's beachside antics and mocktail mayhem. Harley Quinn was once Dr. Harleen Quinzel, a smart psychiatrist who turned into a wild, playful figure in comics. She is known for being loud, quick, and full of jokes. This makes her the kind of person who does not sit quietly on a towel at the beach. She prowls the sand with a big grin and a cooler full of colorful drinks. One minute she hands out a coconut filled with coconut water and lime, and the next she is crowning a sandcastle with a paper umbrella. Guests get named mocktails on arrival, like Puddin's Pink Fizz or Bat-Free Berry Cooler, and she says the names with a dramatic bow. People laugh. The drinks are all virgin, no alcohol, so everyone stays safe in the sun and nobody ends up faceplanting in the shallows. Harley likes little stunts that are silly rather than mean. For example, she swaps plain straws for bendy ones that have tiny flags on them. Then she challenges someone to a lime squeeze contest. She offers to crack open a coconut with her hammer, but actually uses a coconut opener to keep it clean and easy. Sometimes she hides a small rubber duck in a beach bag and squeaks it at just the right time. It is all playful mischief with sunscreen and a first aid kit nearby. She treats the mocktails like tiny performances. Try these examples she might make. Puddin's Pink Fizz, mix chilled cranberry juice, a splash of sparkling water, a squeeze of fresh lime, and crushed ice. Stir gently and garnish with a lime wheel and a sprig of mint. Bat-Free Berry Cooler, blend frozen strawberries with pineapple juice and a little coconut water. Pour over crushed ice and top with a thin slice of pineapple on the rim. Tropical Joker, combine mango nectar with a dash of ginger syrup, add coconut milk for creaminess, shake with ice and strain into a tall glass. Finish with grated nutmeg and a paper straw. Each recipe uses simple ingredients you can find at a market near the beach. She also adds showy touches that are easy to copy. Use reusable cups so sand rinses out quickly. Cut fruit into fun shapes and thread them onto short skewers before guests arrive. Keep a little tray of paper umbrellas and edible flowers for fast decoration. These small moves make drinks feel special without fuss. In short, Harley's beachside antics are less about chaos and more about bright, goofy hospitality. Fun, safe, and a bit dramatic. Venom tries SPF 1000 and fails spectacularly. SPF numbers tell how much UVB light a sunscreen can block, and the jump from one high number to an even higher one gives only small extra benefit. SPF 30 blocks about 97% of UVB rays and SPF 50 blocks about 98%. Labels above 50 have diminishing returns, and no common safe sunscreen routine relies on a single mythical super SPF to do all the work. Apply about 1 ounce of sunscreen for a full adult body. Pick a broad-spectrum formula that covers UVA and UVB, and reapply every 2 hours or after swimming or towel drying. Physical sunscreens use zinc oxide or titanium dioxide and leave a white cast. Chemical ones use filters like avobenzone and need about 15–20 minutes on the skin to activate. Venom heard about a sunscreen that bragged about an outrageously high SPF and decided to try it like it was a new snack. He squeezed a monster dollop out of a tube that looked like it could grease a truck. The cream sat heavy and white on his black symbiote skin, making him look like a walking yin-yang gone wrong. He rubbed. He shook. The goo slid off in wide, glossy ribbons because a living, moving surface is not the same as a patch of skin designed to absorb lotion. The failure had simple, real reasons. Sunscreen needs even, steady contact with skin at a specific thickness to meet its labeled protection, and some formulas cling while others do not. Venom's outer layer kept shifting, stretching, and folding, so the cream never settled in a thin, stable film. Water resistance matters too, and products are usually labeled as water-resistant for 40 or 80 minutes. Not waterproof forever. Also, physical sunscreens will sit on top and look chalky, while chemical ones need time to bond. Venom skipped the wait and jumped straight into the surf. Short story. The protection was patchy and unreliable. For a practical fix, use proven steps rather than fantasy numbers. Put on a broad-spectrum sunscreen at the right amount, reapply frequently, wear a hat and a UV shirt, and use shade during the sun's strongest hours. If a creaking, shape-shifting creature is in play, plan for coverings that stay put. A wide-brimmed umbrella, long-sleeve rash guard, or even a quick-dry towel wrap works better than smearing a ton of lotion. In other words, rely on real protection habits, not miracle creams. Especially when your skin keeps moving and the gulls start eyeing your sunscreen like dessert. Sunset shenanigans, karaoke, crab races, and selfies. The Maldives has shallow lagoons, soft white sand, and sunsets that paint the sky in long bands of gold and pink. So the light there makes faces warm and colors pop. A small speaker sits on a driftwood log and a pile of coconuts waits nearby, while 4 unlikely friends stretch out on towels and beach mats. Spider-Man keeps his mask on for most of it, partly out of habit and partly because sand gets everywhere. Catwoman pads along the water's edge and tests the tide with one toe, looking like she owns the whole island. Karaoke starts when Harley Quinn finds a waterproof microphone in a resort kit and decides it is destiny. She picks loud, silly songs and sings with big gestures, pulling everyone into clapping along. Spider-Man tries a quirky pop tune and spends more time making jokes than staying in key, but his grin is easy and real. Catwoman chooses a slow, smoky song and half whispers the chorus, which makes the waves sound like a backing band. Venom's voice is deep and messy and somehow hits a bass note that makes a nearby coconut rattle. The mic nearly disappears into his grin. Laughter rolls across the sand between songs, and the little speaker keeps going even when someone's toes keep trying to unplug it. Crab races form next because the beach has small, quick crabs that love hiding in the shade under palm leaves. They scuttle sideways, which looks hilarious to people who watch with a stopwatch in their heads but no real plan. Catwoman lines up tiny shells as a start and finish line, placing a shiny shell as a prize for the winner. Harley waves a bright ribbon to encourage the racers, and Spider-Man uses a thin web strand to make harmless tiny hurdles that some crabs trip over in a comic way. Venom leans in too close and whispers encouragement. A crab gives him a look and goes the other way, which everyone finds very funny. The races are messy and playful, and a stray hermit crab becomes an unexpected champion when it decides the finish line is a nice place to nap. Selfies happen between races and songs, with the sunset giving warm backlight and the lagoon reflecting colors like a mirror. Spider-Man holds the phone on a little stick and balances on one foot while trying to angle the shot. Catwoman angles her chin just so and gets a sly, perfect frame. Harley makes faces that look like fireworks and gets the best group laugh every time. Venom photobombs with a huge grin and a tongue that almost wraps the frame, then acts offended when everyone gasps and asks him to move over. Practical tip: standing with the sun behind you makes the colors of the sky and water richer in photos, and soft sand helps people pose without slipping. They take silly shots, serious shots, and a few that will live forever in their phones. Spider-Man mid-jump, Catwoman with wind in her hair, Harley blowing a confetti shell, and Venom pretending to be a gentle giant in a quiet lagoon. The last photo of the night is a blurry, perfect mess. Laughter caught between waves and the last pink light. Quick recap: Spider-Man, Catwoman, Harley Quinn, and Venom spent a sunny day in the Maldives. Swimming, building funny sandcastles, sharing snacks, and finding that even villains and heroes can relax and laugh together. If this made you smile, you're not alone. Picture yourself there, dodging seagulls and stealing a coconut with Harley. Tell me which hero you'd share an umbrella with in the comments, and what prank Venom should try next, but keep it sand safe. If you like this, tap like, subscribe, and share with a friend who needs a beach day with super people. Stay tuned. More silly superhero getaways, behind-the-scenes moments, and bloopers are coming soon, so don't miss the next trip. Now go grab a drink, enjoy the sunset, and remember, even heroes need a day off.